Hey everyone, what's up? This is Omar. And we've always assumed that if we ever set foot on another planet anywhere in the universe, we'd be dead within minutes. Crushed by insane gravity, scorched by extreme heat, flattened by brutal pressure, and choked out by a toxic atmosphere. There's just no way we'd survive out there.
But what if I told you the universe actually has planets out there whose environment wouldn't just fail to kill you? It might make you healthier than you've ever been on Earth. Like healthy enough that you'd feel like you got handed superpowers. And I'm not even joking.
Recently, scientists have discovered a whole batch of habitable planets that beat Earth in pretty much every category. Life on these planets could potentially evolve faster and stick around for way longer than it has here. So which planets are we talking about? Let's get into it.
So here's the thing. Out of every planet we know of in the entire universe, Earth is the only one where life has actually evolved, from the simplest organisms all the way up to insanely complex ones, including life forms that thrive in the most extreme environments imaginable. And obviously, seeing all that, we tend to think of Earth as this one-of-a-kind, totally unique planet.
But here's the twist. A lot of researchers actually believe there could be other planets out there with environments even more favorable than Earth's. The problem is, because we live here, instead of searching for better planets, we've spent basically all our time looking for Earth's mirror image, which honestly is the wrong approach entirely. And that's exactly why on October 5th, 2020, astrobiologist Dirk Schultz-Makisch, working with Washington State University and the Technical University of Berlin, kicked off a brand new mission. The goal? Hunt down planets that are better than Earth across the board. And you are not going to believe this. He actually found them. Not one, not two, but a full 24 super-habitable planets. So basically, Schulze-Makuch and his team took a completely different approach to finding these planets. They built out a checklist of criteria, and if a planet didn't tick every single box, it got ruled out as not super-habitable. Simple filtering system. Honestly, pretty genius. Now, think about it for a second. What does life actually need to survive? A suitable temperature, a solid atmosphere, water, and a decent-sized land surface area, right? So keeping all of that in mind, here's the criteria they landed on.
Normally, when scientists go hunting for exoplanets, the main focus is on yellow dwarf stars, basically stars like our own sun. But this time, Schulze-Makuch's team also went after orange dwarf stars, which are cooler, dimmer, and less massive.
The big advantage here? Lifespan. Yellow dwarfs typically live for about 10 billion years. Orange dwarfs, on the other hand, live almost twice as long, somewhere between 20 and 50 billion years. And that matters a lot, because it means any life evolving in that system would potentially have 2 to 3 times longer to develop than life on Earth ever did.
That said, older doesn't automatically mean better. Over time, a planet's interior geothermal energy cools down, and it can end up losing its magnetic field entirely.
Once they've locked onto a solid planetary system, the first move is measuring the distance between the planet and its host star. That tells them whether the planet sits in the habitable zone, and from there, they can estimate just how much water that planet might actually have. According to researchers, a planet's mass and size can directly influence how and how well life evolves. The logic is pretty straightforward. Bigger size means more habitable surface area. And it doesn't stop there. More mass means more gravity, and more gravity means a potentially thicker, more stable atmosphere. But there's a catch. A planet's mass needs to be roughly 1.5 to 2 times Earth's mass, not more. That sweet spot keeps the planet's interior heated for a long stretch of time, which keeps the core molten. And a molten core is what powers a strong, long-lasting magnetic field around the planet, which gives life an actual shot at forming and evolving. This one's pretty obvious. If a planet's temperature runs too hot, the pressure usually spikes right along with it, and surviving in that kind of extreme environment is basically like sticking your hand in boiling oil. So scientists zero in on planets whose average surface temperature sits within about 5 degrees Celsius of Earth's.
And there's a real reason behind that number too. If you look at Earth's tropical regions, the microbes thriving there are mostly the ones built to survive exactly that kind of extreme heat.
Using all these criteria, scientists managed to identify 24 exoplanets worth watching. Research on all of them is still ongoing, but out of that list, 2 stood out as genuinely super habitable. Their surface temperature and atmosphere are leagues better than Earth's. Those 2 planets are KOI 5715.01 and KOI 4554.01.
According to scientists, both of these planets have basically every single ingredient needed for life, as we understand it, to evolve. In short, these 2 are about as close to perfect as it gets for life to take hold.
First up is KOI 5715.01, a planet whose surface temperature runs about 2.4 degrees cooler than Earth's. Its mass is 7 times greater than Earth's, and its size is 8 times bigger. That means more surface area, more land, and, thanks to that extra mass, stronger gravity too. All of that combined gives it a noticeably more stable atmosphere. As for water, based on the distance between the planet and its host star, scientists estimate there's a massive amount of water present there, which, honestly, is a huge deal. Then there's KOI 4554.01, sitting at a surface temperature of around 27 degrees Celsius, basically perfect for the human body. On top of that, tectonic plate movement on this planet is driving a continuous nitrogen cycle. And as we know, the nitrogen cycle is absolutely essential here on Earth. Biochemical processes convert nitrogen into multiple forms, like amino acids, proteins, and even DNA, which indirectly also helps keep the environment clean. So the more nitrogen in play, the faster an ecosystem can evolve, and the cleaner the atmosphere stays as a result. That said, since both of these planets were only discovered fairly recently, scientists still don't have a ton of detailed information on them. Research is still actively underway using the James Webb Space Telescope.
Beyond these 2, there are several other planets that are more habitable than Earth. Not on the extreme level, but solidly more habitable. Let's run through which ones made that list.
First up is LHS 1140b, a genuinely contradictory planet. It was discovered on April 20th, 2017 during the M-Earth project using the transit method. The M-Earth project is essentially a robotic laboratory that monitors the brightness of red dwarf stars with a main goal of spotting transiting planets, meaning planets that pass directly in front of their host star. Since red dwarfs are relatively small, any planet passing in front of one blocks off a comparatively large chunk of its light, making detection easier. That's exactly how this planet was found. After discovery, when scientists studied its surface, they found that the planet's iron-nickel core has covered about 75% of its landmass in molten lava. But here's the real twist. Despite that scorching lava-covered surface, scientists detected 4% water sitting beneath the core. And according to them, there's likely an even larger amount of water hiding beneath the rest of the landmass, leading several astronomers to speculate that there could even be an entire underground water world down there. And that's not all. Thanks to the planet's sheer mass, the greenhouse effect has managed to keep the atmosphere in a surprisingly solid balance. The next planet looks so habitable to scientists that they actually sent multiple messages out to it, hoping to find out if there's extraterrestrial life there. That planet is Luyten b. It was discovered on March 17, 2017, using the radial velocity method. Basically, this method involves observing a star's position relative to other stars. If that position keeps wobbling back and forth, it's a sign that there's a massive planet in that system exerting a gravitational pull on the star. When scientists studied Luyten b's position data, they noticed something huge, extremely high water content. In fact, materials essential for life like amino acids and hydrocarbons are present there in massive quantities too. In short, this planet looks just about perfect. And maybe, just maybe, the reason it looks this perfect is because of some advanced civilization already out there. Which is exactly why, in October 2017 and again in 2018, the organization METI, Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence, sent multiple messages toward this planet. One of those messages was a short musical composition, and the other was a scientific tutorial about our location in the universe. Pretty wild, right? So if there really is intelligent life on Luyten b, there's a good chance we'll find out eventually. Now, after hearing all this, you're probably getting a sense of just how deep this research goes. Honestly, it's easy to assume scientists aren't doing enough digging into other planets, aliens,
extraterrestrial life, all of it. But trust me, this work is happening at a massive scale. Scientists are extremely curious about what's actually out there in the universe.
So anyway, that covers some of the super-habitable planets out in the broader universe. But here's the part you won't believe. Our own solar system actually has a celestial body that falls into the super-habitable category too. And no, I'm not joking, and no, I'm not talking about a planet this time. Just take a look at this. This is Callisto, the second largest moon of Jupiter. See those white patches in this image? That's actually ice. Here's a wild fact. Callisto was originally written off as a dead, geologically inactive rocky body, but back in 1990, it was proven that there's a salty ocean hiding beneath Callisto's icy surface, and pretty soon, that ocean water is actually going to be used in the process of making rocket propellant.
And it doesn't stop there. Astronomers have also detected an atmosphere on this moon, and there's speculation that humans could potentially breathe there without much trouble. There is one small problem, though. The insane amount of radiation pouring in from Jupiter. But if we can just figure that part out, Callisto basically checks every box for a super-habitable world. A solid atmosphere, water, low gravity, the whole package.
So what do you guys think? Could Callisto become humanity's next colony after Mars? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you picked up something new from this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update when we drop a new video. See you next time, everyone. Until then, as always, stay curious, keep learning, and keep growing.